There is a version of you that you can feel but cannot yet touch. You have caught glimpses of them, in a moment of real clarity, in a burst of discipline that surprised even you, in a quiet conversation where you said exactly the right thing or made a choice you were genuinely proud of. That person is not a fantasy. They are not some distant ideal that exists only in your imagination. They are you, further along the path. And the only question that matters is this: what is standing between who you are right now and who you already know you could become? The ancient world had a precise and powerful answer to that question. And today, we are going to walk through it together. Aristotle called it Eudaimonia, often translated as happiness, but more accurately understood as human flourishing. The full actualization of your potential, not pleasure, not comfort, but the deep satisfaction that comes from becoming who you are capable of being. He believed that every human being carries within them a telos, a purpose, a direction, an end toward which their nature is always reaching. Like an acorn that carries within it the blueprint of an oak tree, you carry within you the blueprint of your highest self. The question was never whether that version of you exists. It always has. The question is whether you are willing to do the work of growing toward it. The Stoics built on this with a concept they called prohairesis, your capacity for conscious choice. The idea that while you cannot control what happens to you, you have absolute authority over who you choose to become in response. That power, the power of deliberate self-direction, was considered the most sacred human faculty. You are not fixed. You are not finished. You are in process, and process requires direction. Between who you are and who you are becoming, there are three crossings. Three threshold moments that every person who has ever genuinely transformed themselves has had to pass through. The first crossing, honest self-seeing. The Delphic oracle in ancient Greece carried a single inscription above its entrance: know thyself, not improve yourself, not motivate yourself, know yourself. First, before you can move toward a better version of yourself, you must see clearly the version that exists right now, without judgment, without defense, without the comfortable stories you tell yourself about why you are where you are. This is the hardest crossing, because what you will find is not failure. You will find patterns, beliefs that were installed in you long before you were old enough to choose them. Habits of thought that have been running so long they feel like facts. See them clearly, name them honestly. That act alone begins to loosen their grip. The second crossing, the decision of identity. This is the crossing most people skip, and it is why most attempts at change eventually collapse. The ancient Stoics taught that transformation is not a behavioral change. It is an identity declaration. You do not decide to act differently. You decide to be differently. And then your actions follow. Ask yourself, who is the person I am choosing to become? Be specific, not a better person. What do they believe? How do they begin their mornings? How do they respond when things are hard? What do they refuse? What do they pursue? Write it down. The mind needs a clear image to move toward. Without that image, it defaults to what it already knows. The third crossing, daily devotion. The ancients had no concept of overnight transformation. Every philosophical tradition, Stoic, Buddhist, Confucian, understood that becoming is a practice, a daily devotion to the person you have declared yourself to be. Confucius taught that the superior person does not become superior through talent or fortune. They become superior through the daily cultivation of virtue, small, deliberate choices made consistently across time. You do not become your better self in a moment of inspiration. You become them in the 10,000 ordinary moments where you choose, again, to act like the person you are becoming. Every time you honor that choice, you carve the path a little deeper. Every time you do not, you simply begin again. There is no failure in this process. There is only the next choice. Today, not Monday, not when things settle down. Today, take 10 minutes and answer 3 questions in writing. Who am I right now, honestly? What patterns, beliefs, and habits define me at this moment? Who am I choosing to become? Describe that person in specific, living detail. What is the one action I can take today that belongs to that person, not the old one? That is the entire framework, simple, ancient, and if practiced with honesty and consistency, quietly life-changing. The gap between who you are and who you could be is not as wide as it feels tonight. It is crossed one honest moment at a time, one deliberate choice at a time, one day of living like the person you are becoming, and then another, and then another. The ancient world called this the examined life, and they considered it the only life worth living. You already know who you are becoming. You have always known. Now, walk toward them. If this found you at the right moment, subscribe to Ancient Mind, Modern Path, Ancient Wisdom, Practical Tools, every week, and tell me in the comments, who is the person you are becoming? I want to hear it. Walk your path. See you in the next one.